So not too long after we predicted it, Germany and Poland are now involved in a war. But it's not a direct war, but they were called in by alliances. And actually, this is going to be really close, I think. Now, I know Germany is really, really powerful, but they're fighting some big foes. Germany called in Spain, and the war was declared by Germany for Italy. It's an imperialist war, so, that doesn't really matter what they take. They're just going to try to take things away, I guess. Try to go after their capital and just absolutely dominate, I guess. Italy called in some awesome alliances, though. I mean, Italy had Albania, Great Britain, obviously the British West Indies, Saudis. Not sure who this is. Is that Kuwait? There you go, and Poland. So we'll have to see what happens here. I think the deciding factor will be if Great Britain gets involved. I don't think the Saudis will get involved, so I'm just predicting that they won't. If Great Britain gets involved, then yes, this should go the Italian-Polish way, but I'm not sure. I don't know exactly how much Poland was able to gain in terms of power and manpower and regiments and stuff like that, force limit, from acquiring these new Russian lands they just took away. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't think they really had those lands integrated into their empire long enough for them to really notice the benefits. You have to take it, you got to core it, then you got to wait for the autonomy to go down. So it takes a while before you see the immediate bonuses to acquiring land in EU4. So I don't think that they could have too much extra power here. Norway's not involved, right? No, but just for some reason Norway is just chilling inside of Polish territory. Must be because of once the war ended with Russia, they just decided to move into Polish territory instead of going back towards their own. Didn't realize that Norway grabbed away this from Russia. That's pretty cool of them. And over the break, I did let some time pass, obviously because there was no wars going on except for the Venezuelan war for the Netherlands. Nothing happens in terms of for Mexico, Netherlands, or Venezuela. But Brazil, this wasn't even their war. They took away land from Argentina, so they definitely capitalized on helping out their buddy, and looks like they took away about 3 provinces there. So, but that is it. I don't think there's one other war going on, but it's very small. This is huge here. So let's focus in on this. Like I said, I think the deciding factor will be Great Britain. If they decide to actually send things over, try to land troops inside of northern Germany, then that will be enough to, I think, stop them. But I think let's all remember Germany has a massive military. Massive military. So this is going to be close. Even though they're fighting a lot of foes, it's going to be close. There's also another African war going on. Let's go ahead and just check on the military sizes. As well as, let's not forget that Germany hasn't been involved in a war for at least a decade. So they are pretty fresh. They're ready to go. Yes, they have almost 1 million troops. Almost 1 million troops, almost 1 million manpower. They have actually the most manpower in the game right now. As of right now. Even more than Japan, Japan hasn't gone to war for like 50, 60 years, and that was Russia last time they went to war. So this is going to be close. Spain is their ally. Italy's all the way down here. Is there anybody else involved in this war? See, Great Britain, there they are. About 500,000, but still. The Saudis also, but I don't think the Saudis are going to get over here. We'll see. It all depends on how much the alliances actually decide to contribute for Italy and for Poland, because they're going to be taking the blunt of the damage, I guess, most of the damage. It also depends on how fast maybe Germany could get Poland out of this war. They can't really get Italy out of the war because the war was declared for Italy, for Italian land. So I don't think really anything's going to happen there. But it will be interesting to watch and to see. Latvia is not doing so well. Well, they're occupied by pretender rebels, but I don't know why they haven't gone after it and unsieged that stuff. Anyways, let's keep an eye on this. Here's a big one. And it actually looks like Poland might pull this one out. They've got the military tactics on their advantage as well as extra morale and discipline. Dang, so Poland's looking good in terms of like military-wise. That was pretty shocking. Obviously, that's not going to be enough. And actually, look at this. Germany's completely retreated from the southern front against Italy. And I'm guessing they're going to let Spain deal with Italy, which is a smart choice because those two powers are about the same size, Looks like Italy will probably win if they were to engage in battle here, just like in the Alps, because they've got a 3-star general. Albania is sending stuff over. Let's check in on the Saudis. They're building troops up, but again, I don't think they're sending anything this way. I also don't think the Saudis have invested in in a navy inside of the Eastern Mediterranean. So that means that they cannot drop off troops. Even if they could, I doubt that they'd build transport ships. That many transport ships here. I seriously doubt that. Is Egypt involved in a war? No, they're not. I just saw them build a bunch of ships. I was like, wait, what's going on here, Egypt? You doing something too, Egypt? You making some advancements? So there you go. Here is a 500 stack that Germany has under their control. And you know what? Spain isn't even going for Italy. They're trying to help out with Poland. They actually also got into southern Polish Swedish lands, I guess. Should I switch those around when I say that? I think so, right? Yeah. Poland's not looking good. Poland's not looking good anymore. Now that Spain is here too, now Italy has got to engage. They cannot let their alliance just get completely dominated. Their ally get completely dominated. That's Poland. That would be really, really bad. One of those wars have peaced out, and I think it was a war with Togo in Africa. Yes, they did lose a little bit. And these guys have got us kind of united, almost united completely. They just have to take... Well, they have united pretty much. They were like two-sided, but now they're good to go. Okay, that's good to know. Dang, Germany. Germany's not holding anything back. They've got a lot of manpower reserves, so they can afford to do this. They could easily afford to do this. Now, they've got to be quick. They've got to unite. Again, it looks like Italy's begun to... Well, Germany's engaged Italy. Italy's not helping out Poland at all. That is messed up. They're chilling in northern Italy. They don't care that their Polish alliance is getting dominated right now. And they let the Spanish regiments just pass through their territory without engaging them as well. This could be really bad, although no one has decided to attack the 150 stack that Poland has under their control. That is Germany, I say. So there are some small blockades going on from Great Britain, but I don't know if they're dropping anything off. I don't see any sort of transport ships. They're destroying German ships, which is good for Great Britain. But I don't see the transport ships sending things over. That would distract the AI. You're talking about an AI having to deal with 3 fronts: northern Germany, eastern Poland, and northern Italy. That would be a mess. There's no way they'd be able to kind of balance that out. But we'll see. That's always Germany's historical problem, is finding a way to face all these different fronts. Luckily, Great Britain probably won't be able to contribute that much, I don't think. And they might not at all. Great Britain will sometimes stays out of like European affairs, even though they can't really be doing that much more because they've got 2 provinces in continental Europe. I mean, it's getting more and more of a deal for them. They've got to be more concerned with what's going on in Europe. And let's not forget about, that's right, in Gibraltar, because Spain has already occupied Gibraltar. I mean, Spain actually might even get that back. Do they have any? They don't have any claims to these lands. No reconquest or cores or anything like that. Okay, so Spain tried to face the 150 stack. That was offensive, too, by them. They got a terrain and crossing penalty, and they did it with less guys. But they're being reinforced by now. Oh, my gosh. Yep, and Germany is about to reinforce heavily, which should be enough to kind of knock out a big chunk of the forces that Poland controls. I don't know if this is going to end either way. I think this might end in a stalemate. This is really close for both sides. This is a very interesting war. Probably one of the most interesting European wars we've seen so far, because it seems even. Usually it's like it's divided where it's like 3 countries versus 3 countries, but whoever has Germany on their side usually ends up dominated. This is not as dominant as we've seen. Again, Great Britain is that wild card factor. The Saudis won't do anything. Albania is trying to help out, but they're not doing anything either. Kuwait is also involved too, if I was correct. Ooh, Egypt did get involved in a war against Sudan and Kenya. And then we have Tajikistan versus Kyrgyzstan, I believe. I apologize for my pronunciation there. Let's check in on the visuals of these wars. Let's see what's going on. Still no unification in this region. I thought we'd see it. Oh, wow. Oh, dang. This is interesting. Yeah, this would be a pretty big one. Let's check on how Egypt's doing in Africa. Okay, so this is a war for Sudan, and that shouldn't be too difficult at all. Kenya won't be able to help out, and this should be easy extra lands in southern Egypt for them to pick up. Again, Africa getting more and more entertaining. I love it. I love the continent of Africa. It's so entertaining because no one really has absolute control. There's a lot of nations with some awesome power, but nobody really has absolute control at the moment. And is Germany finally gotten the leg up in Poland? It looks like they somewhat have. Where's that big Polish regiment at? Here it is right there. They're down to 41, 39. Spain is taking them all. It's going to take them all the way down to almost less than 30,000. At least for that. I mean, they can unite, and they will. They're building a few, I'm sure, like mercs, and they're hiring a few, all sorts of different sort of things. Albania technically leading this charge against Germany, but it's mainly Italian forces. Oh, but Germany's going to reinforce. Oh, man. See, that was the issue. Now, they might have been successful in defending a war against Germany if Germany hadn't waited like a decade. If Germany hadn't, like, really rebuilt. I mean, they stayed quiet. It was like a sleeping beast. And then finally, you know, the beast was awoken. And, you know, with that much manpower, with that many forces, the third in the world, they're the third most powerful military in the world. It's gonna be so tough to stop Germany, no matter what type of alliances you have. Luckily for the world, Germany doesn't have the best alliances, and actually they annulled their alliances with China, surprisingly enough. Actually, I don't know if it was China themselves that did it, but China no longer has any issue with Europe. That's a very interesting part of this mod, is the alliances change so fast, except if we're talking about USA and Canada. But the alliances have been going back and forth in Africa, Asia, Europe, and I absolutely love that. You know, there's not these nations that are just staying allied for the entire campaign. It's like constantly changing, which means new opportunities for different wars. It's very, very fun. I love it. Egypt's already done with their war against Sudan. Did they take everything? So wait a second. South Sudan was involved in that? Because they took away some lands. Sudan is down to... It looks like both South Sudan and Egypt took away provinces. I think so. Yes, they did. I didn't know South Sudan was involved. They might have got called in later on, or maybe I'm just smoking crack and they were involved. But we'll see. Sudan's down to 2 provinces. Ethiopia could capitalize, maybe. Ethiopia could slightly capitalize here. But pretty good pickup for Egypt. Egypt shouldn't have allowed South Sudan to pick that land up, though. Pretty interesting choice there. Again, it's not super one-sided. It is pretty divided so far. The war is, at least. I think that the front against Poland is starting to be pretty heavily... Actually, you know what? Both fronts are starting to be dominated. Again, this is the point where Great Britain has got to send over units if they want to help out their alliance of Italy and Poland. I don't think Great Britain has themselves an alliance with Poland, but if they want to help out their buddies, I guess, in Europe, just to keep Germany from being too powerful, they've got to move fast. They got to move now. This is not good, because Great Britain is the only real threat right now to Germany. But the problem is that, you know, it's that Great Britain's on the British Isles, and it's hard to make a landing. It's hard to really do anything. Although, you know, their acquisition of northern France is a really big deal. The thing is, they've got to take more, though. They've got to take a lot more. So look at this. So here's Great Britain going to destroy the entire German fleet. That's a big deal. Now, that was big. That was a very... That they just destroyed everything that Germany had in terms of ships. Or maybe they've got 40 stacks still, but I'm sure they still have some squanderers running around here. Are those the only 2 big wars? Oh, did we talk about... Oh, yeah, I already talked about how Brazil gained access to a few extra lands, and I think that is everything. Turkmenistan definitely grabbed, I think, a little bit extra. Some extra stuff, it looks like. Maybe. Perhaps. They look a little bit thicker. So does Kazakhstan, though. But maybe not. That might not be true. They do look a little bit thicker, but I don't know. Maybe, yeah, no, I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, so Germany is pushing just about the same efforts. They're pushing just as far into Poland as they are. All right, so due to some weird, like, stuttering issues, I don't know what happened, but I had to, like, stop recording and go at 1 speed for a excruciatingly long time. But it is now 14th of December, and the German-Italian war has just ended, and there were some pretty big results. We just saw pretty much Germany, pretty much what we predicted. Germany had full control over Poland, and they eventually had full control over the Italian peninsula. So this is what Europe looks like now. Bam! A extremely powerful Germany. They must have taken at least 7 provinces away from Poland. They separate-pieced Poland, and then they waited and continued to press forward with Spain's help in the Italian peninsula. They took way more away from Poland than they did Italy. Italy lost, obviously, a pretty good dang chunk, though, too. Yeah, all of this. And... I mean, we've seen the German AI is one of the only AIs we've seen in the entire game that isn't afraid to take a whole bunch. I don't know how they're going to be able to manage this, because they just took a chunk from Poland and another chunk from Italy. So I don't know. This is going to be very entertaining to watch. But yeah, I mean, we're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then it looks like, I thought Germany took away these lands. Yeah, Germany didn't have this. This is also formerly Polish lands, but I mean, it's huge. And of course, Great Britain did not contribute because they're in their own separate war, kind of helping out their alliance here of St. Vincent versus Grenada, and they're doing good with 61 war score. But no, I mean, the Saudis or Great Britain both did not help out their alliances, which ultimately was their demise, and now they've got to deal with this Germany, an extremely powerful Germany that at this point, I don't see it being stopped at any sort of foreseeable future. At this point, the only thing that I think could happen is, again, France needs to continue to kind of, fall down this sort of rabbit hole in the sense France needs to continue to crumble. And because Germany's becoming so powerful, this might not be as bad or as unlikely as we might, it might seem, because Germany might just attack France once and then it's over. Now, how does Great Britain and Germany feel towards each other? Yeah, they don't really like each other, but it's not super bad. British opinion of Germany is actually at negative 112, but not the other way around. It's only negative 33 for the other way. But yeah, if Germany starts to attack France, which they're not allied, Germany only has their alliance with Spain, and they're actually back to being allied with China, which is a big deal. But again, China doesn't really contribute much over this way. So maybe if France starts to fall apart to Spain or Germany, then Great Britain should join in, and Great Britain needs to increase their hold in continental Europe. Again, the only person I think that could somewhat keep up with the Germans is going to be Great Britain at this moment, because Germany just completely eliminated all other foes. And let's go ahead and check on the coalition now. If anyone's going to have a coalition, it's got to be Germany. Yes. Oh my goodness, they've got some incredible aggressive expansion. They are definitely in a coalition. Actually, you know what? At any second here, I wouldn't be surprised if a coalition forms up. They're the target of the Swedish coalition, so I would not be surprised if that war begins, especially because Germany just got out of this war, which means that they might they might not be prepared for this. They're fighting off rebels already. If they can hold on to this land, then yeah, they're going to dominate Europe, but I don't know if they will. This is a massive coalition. I don't think we've seen aggressive expansion from an AI like this before. I mean, Ukraine, Romania, Hungary, Austria, Greece, France, Spain even, Great Britain, Sweden, Norway. I don't know if Great Britain's going to contribute this time. If they were, then if they were to, then maybe things would be good, but I don't know. We'll see. If the coalition were to form up and if it were to be declared, it would have to be soon. The thing about that, I mean, they've got aggressive expansion over 100. So that means that stuff's going to take a long time to take up. That coalition is eventually going to launch. I just don't know when. Germany, there's no way Germany's going to play the rest of the game peaceful. There's absolutely no way. They're going to think that they're too powerful, and they're going to continue to press their luck. But again, they're fighting off a ton of rebels. This is the time to take back that land. This is pretty much it for Europe. If they don't strike with that coalition soon, they will never get back the power inside of the heart of Europe. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.